Today, in this video, I'm going to give you different phrases to say, I don't know. Of course, I don't know is a fine phrase. However, with these phrases, you can show if you know nothing, if you know something, or perhaps you can speak in a formal or an informal situation. So these 14 phrases will help you to be able to speak in all sorts of English situations and, of course, understand English speakers when you hear them. Hello everyone, this is English with Archie and I'm Archie. Nice to see you again. Now today, before we start the video, I want to tell you that I have prepared a beautiful PDF for you which you can download, but you'll need to join my mailing list. Once you do that, I will email it directly out to you with the key phrases from this video so you can have them in beautiful PDF format and you can print them out, or you can just keep them on your computer or on your phone so you can look at them. And also a few little practice sentences so you can double check what you've learnt. So if you want that, then check the description and you can find the information for that. I'm Archie, nice to see you again, and let's get started, guys. The first phrase today is I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So this is I am not sure. Sure is a synonym of certain. So if we are sure, then we're 100%.
I knew it!
If we're not sure, that means we're not 100%. So it suggests that we have some idea, but we don't know exactly if we know everything.
I'm not sure.
So if we are not completely confident in the answer, we can say, I'm not sure. Of course, we can change how much we know something by changing the intonation. So listen to me say it twice, number 1 and number 2, and tell me in which time do I sound more certain. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. In the second one, I sound more certain, but I'm still telling people that I'm not 100%. Our next phrase, which is very informal, is dunno. 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 Dunno sounds like a strange word, but it's just I don't know. And it's just shortened. We drop the I and we put the don't know together and say dunno. Now these days, more and more, you're starting to see the word dunno written down. However, it's very informal. So on Instagram, on TikTok, when you're messaging your friends, we might use it or you might see it. But if you read any article or book, it would be very, very rare because it doesn't really sound like correct English. But of course, you'll hear this word a lot because really we're saying don't know, it's just that we say it very fast, so it becomes dunno. Our next one is I have no idea. I have no idea. Now, if you were to guess how certain I am when I say I have no idea, from 0 to 100, what would you say? If you said 0% or 10%, then you're correct. I have no idea means I really don't know anything.
I have no idea.
I have no idea or thought in my head which can help me give you the answer. I have no idea. For example,
is Alex coming to the pub?
I have no idea. She told me she was coming, but then she told Tom that she's not coming, so I have no idea. The next one, and it's also quite informal, is I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue. So again, just like I have no idea, this is quite informal and is 0% or 10% maybe certainty. I really don't know anything if I haven't got a clue. Now of course, we can also make this sentence with clue with don't have. I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue. However, it's less common. More often people say, I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue. And this is just the same with I have no idea. Again, that's the most common way to say it, But you could say, I don't have an idea, or I haven't got an idea. But usually, I have no idea. Now, I haven't got a clue can also be said, I'm clueless. I'm totally clueless. However, this is often used in another context. We often use this to say that someone is stupid, or someone doesn't know how to behave properly in a social situation. So, did you hear the answer she gave in class? She's totally clueless. Or, did you see what he did at the wedding? He was drinking and dancing on the tables. He's totally clueless.
I'm completely clueless.
It beats me is another phrase we can use to say, I don't know, and again it's informal. And we often shorten it to beats me, and we drop the it.
Beats me?
And it's very similar to I haven't got a clue or I have no idea. And we only really use this in a very informal situation again, so just with friends really. Now beat normally means to hit, like he beat me up and I have a black eye, or to be in a race or a competition with someone and win over that person. So I beat him in the race, I won, or I came second and he came fourth, so I still beat him, even if I didn't win. But in this situation, it just means to not have an idea. So it's an informal, strange phrase, and who knows where the idea came from? Who knows who invented that phrase? Because really, it doesn't make much sense. But if someone says, beats me, they'll probably put their hands up like this as well, and then you'll know they mean they have no idea. Another lovely one, which is a whole sentence, is, your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. Or another variation on this is, it's anyone's guess. It's anyone's guess. So again, that means I have no idea. I don't have a clue. I haven't got a clue.
Your guess is as good as mine, Jimbo.
Do you think the weather will be nice for the festival? Your guess is as good as mine. We live in England and the weather is unpredictable. Or, it's anyone's guess. Who knows? I'm none the wiser. I'm none the wiser. Now this is a little different to I don't know. We use this after being in a situation, maybe attending a lecture or hearing someone give an explanation or tell you about something. And then after, when someone asks you a question about that, you can say, I didn't understand anything they said, or they didn't give a good explanation, so I'm none the wiser. I'm none the wiser. It means that after listening to that thing, I still don't know. I'm not wiser than I was before. And wise is like intelligent, or having a good ability to make a good decision or make good judgment. So if someone tells us something and explains something to us, but we don't understand what they said, then after, we're none the wiser. This one is quite a neutral phrase, so it's not really informal or formal. You can use it in a lot of situations. But obviously what you are doing is saying that the person who just told you something or explained something to you didn't do it very well. So if you did it in front of them, if you said, I'm none the wiser after that English lesson, then they might be a little offended, so that could be a bit rude.
None the wiser.
I spoke to my new employer about when I can start the job, but after 30 minutes of conversation, I'm none the wiser. He didn't give me an answer. The reporters attended the Prime Minister's speech about what he was going to change in the country in the next year, but they all left none the wiser. Now, a really nice phrase you can use in a formal situation to say, I don't know, is there's no indication. There's no indication. And this means that in the thing that you've read, or when you've spoken to someone, there's been no answer, or there's no suggestion of what the answer is. And this is really good because it means that you're not saying that you don't know. You're saying that no one else has given you the information, so you don't look bad in this situation. When will the company start interviews? There's been no indication. No one has told me anything.
Is there no indication of how he died?
Obviously, in this situation, someone's asking you what you know about someone else, or something else. So they're not asking you about your own preferences, because then we'd have to say, I don't know, or I'm not sure, or I haven't got a clue yet, for example. Do you think the company wants to do more work with us? There's no indication. They haven't said anything yet about the previous work we did with them. So we don't know. They haven't given us any indication. They haven't told us. They haven't suggested maybe if they liked the work that we did. So we really don't know.
That's a good question.
That's a really good question. This is another clever way that we can divert the attention from the fact that we don't know something by complimenting someone on their question. It's a great way to distract them. Politicians are really good at this. They will often say, when they get asked something and they don't want to answer, or they don't have an answer, that's a really good question. But I want to actually talk about this. So that's a clever way you can distract people and change the topic of the conversation. It's not apparent. It's not apparent. Again, this is a really nice formal phrase that you can use, just like there's no indication, to say that it's not clear to you whether something is the case, what a situation is, what the answer is, and again, you're shifting the focus from yourself and putting it on the fact that no one's given you the answer yet, or no one's told you this thing. Is Sarah upset that she didn't get invited to the party? Well, here I can say, it's not apparent. So what do I mean? I mean that I saw Sarah and she seemed fine. She didn't seem upset, she didn't seem angry. If she had been angry, if she had been upset, if she had said something, then it would have been apparent. It would have been obvious. So if something's apparent, it's obvious, we can see it. But if it's not apparent, then there's no way of me knowing. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. I'll look into it and get back to you. I'll look into it and get back to you. This is another great way of diverting the attention from the fact that you don't know something. Because what are you doing? You're telling someone that you care about their question, but, okay, you don't know it, but you're going to find out the answer and you're going to get back to them. You're going to respond to them later on. Now, I use this because quite often in my lessons, students ask me a whole range of questions. And sometimes some things I don't know the answer straight away. So I say, I'll look into it and get back to you. And that way I can give students a much better answer later on when I've had a little time to think about it and do a little research. So this is a good way of telling people, I care about your question, but I'm not sure I can give a really good answer right now, so I'll get back to you later with that information.
And I'll look into it and get back to you.
If only I knew. If only I knew is a neutral phrase. It's not formal, it's not informal, so we can use it in most situations. But it means that I don't know, and if I knew, that would be a great thing. For example, do you think you'll get the job? If only I knew. If I knew, I would pay more on my mortgage, but I have no idea if I'll get the job, so I can't risk paying more on my mortgage. And by the way, mortgage is a loan for a house. So when you buy a house, you need support and you need a very big loan, so you have to get a mortgage.
If I only knew how. Try.
Do you think the COVID pandemic is over? If only we knew, we could have a normal life again. I hope we can soon. It's starting to feel a little bit more normal. I hope it is for you. Then, I haven't got the faintest idea. I haven't got the faintest idea. Now this is a really nice colloquial phrase. Again, I would say it's a little informal, but you could use it in most situations. So, a faint thing, if something's faint, that means that it's hard to see. For example, if you draw a line in a red pen, and then you leave the paper sitting in the sun for 2 weeks, then after that, it's going to be faded. It's going to be more faint. So, it will be a faint line, so it will be hard to see. So if you have a faint idea, then that means an idea which you can hardly see. So you really don't know. So I haven't the faintest idea means I don't even have an idea, which is really, really vague. I have nothing. I haven't the faintest idea. Do you think you'll pass the exam? I haven't the faintest idea. I thought it went well, but then everyone told me how difficult it was, so now I'm starting to doubt myself.
I haven't the faintest idea.
Not as far as I know. Not as far as I know. Not as far as I know. A lot of words. Not as far as I know. Not as far as I know. Not as far as I know means from what I know, I can't answer your question. Or from what you said, that's actually different to what I had thought. So, for example, if someone says, "Is Sarah coming to the meeting?" I could say, "Not as far as I know. Yesterday she was ill." So, all I know is that yesterday she was ill. So from that information, well, I assume that she's also ill today and she's not coming to the meeting, but I don't know 100%. Or if someone says to me, "Did Jason get into that private school?" I could say, "Not as far as I know." And this is different to saying I don't know. It means, from what I know, I don't think so. So the information that I have tells me that he didn't. But I could be wrong. So that's what you're saying. From what I know, he didn't get into the private school because that's what I heard, but maybe that's just gossip, or maybe I didn't hear right, and maybe I'm wrong. Not as far as I know.
Certainly not as far as I know.
And that was the last phrase. Well done everyone for making it to the end. As a bonus, you can download the PDF. If you look in the description below, there's the link to download it. Thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Make sure to let me know which of these phrases you'll be using today, because that's the best way to keep them in your memory. Thanks so much, and see you soon. Bye.